Really, on all 3 platforms? Doubt. I think this game right now is going through the honeymoon phase wearing off, and people are seeing the problems, walking away, taking breaks. Is this game going to suffer commercially? I don't think so.
No, it's already past that.
Yeah, the commercial success is again not what we're talking about. And to laugh at the idea of LOL video game protests, you should do a little history lesson on what happened with Diablo 3. Again, your ignorance is showing. If you go back and look at Diablo 3, what led to the change? What led to the change?
Yeah.
It was players responding, revolting, pushing back, criticizing. And it turned the tide of the game. They took all that feedback and they built Loot 2.0 and they shoved it out. And then they spent 8 years accepting player feedback and combing over how to keep this going, what do players want. So I will never understand the mentality of, I like the game, therefore, 0 flaws, it's fine, leave it alone, don't make any changes. That's just such a bizarre attitude, especially of all games to have this attitude about. Diablo? Really?
Yeah.
That just seems like you're ignorant about the game's past.
Well, look, if people didn't complain about Sonic the Hedgehog, the film, we would have had a really bad Sonic the Hedgehog film. It looked horrendous, but the people that were going to pay money to go see that were like, yeah, that's not Sonic, you better switch that. And they did. It became one of the most successful gaming movies of all time up until Mario came out recently, right? So constructive criticism is not bad, right? Doing and complaining about something in a correct way gets your point across. But saying you don't like something and then doing it is 2 different things, right? If you don't like the renown system, or if you don't like something in the game, but yet you keep doing it, they're going to be like, well, they say they hate it, but 99% of the population is still playing it, so we'll just leave it the same. Because if it's not broke, don't fix it, right?
Well, and he's saying that was a cash shop problem. It was a content loop problem. Again, that's so reductionist. Diablo 3 was not just a cash shop problem. It wasn't just the auction house. It was a content loop problem. There was nothing to do.
Final Fantasy, same thing.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 14, same thing. Eugene's got a great piece of feedback. The raid exotic drop rate sucks, and someone says, it's just the way it is, get over it. And then Bungie adds triumphs to increase drop rates, drop rate protection, and farming for older raids. Like, providing feedback and saying, I don't like this system, I don't think this system's working, this system's not landing on me for player incentivization. That's how games improve. The idea that you're like the enlightened one, you're the informed one, you got it all figured out, everything's fine, everybody else should just be quiet. That just smacks of, it's the worst cocktail in the world. It's ignorance and arrogance put in a blender. Like, there are plenty of things in this game that will likely be tweaked and changed. And typically, in my experience in this industry, when we get those changes, folks like yourself will say, yeah, all these crybabies got their way. No. Player bases and games like this are organic. They're social experiments. There's give, there's take, there's ups, there's downs. And part of that is we would like to see things change for the seasonal grind. That was the protest was about, not the content. Again, you're ignorant to the reality and the history. The problems and the criticism lobbied at Diablo 3 extended beyond the cash shop and the auction house. You are no longer going to get responses because you don't know what you're talking about. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at, if it wasn't for people doing constructive criticism, which you should thank those people, because there's some people that are just angry at stuff, but there's people that actually complain and write letters and write things, and then the majority of people, and now with Twitter and YouTube and all these videos, I know people look at content creators and go, well, that's the reason the game is broke. Most of the time, that's why the reason that the game gets fixed, because there's actually pushback, and they have a huge community that says, yeah, we don't like this, take this out of the game, this is broke mechanic in the game, and they go, oh, okay, let me fix that. If it wasn't for people doing constructive criticism, you would just have a big pile, pardon my French, shit, and you would just enjoy playing it because you're like, everything's fine, everything's perfect, but yet when they fix the things to make the game better over time, that's when the game is actually shining. Look at Fallout 76. Absolute disaster when it was coming out, right? And they fixed it. Look at Cyberpunk 2077, absolute disaster when it came out. Look at 2042, all right? Absolute disaster when it came out. And people bitched and they moaned and they fixed it. Why is that? Because consumers, they want to charge money. And if it's a live service game and the game is broke, buggy, and unfinished and it has all these glitches and bugs, they want people to come back and play the game, so they have to fix it. Otherwise, their whole project is done.
Right, and I think that's what it always comes down to is don't come to a conversation that's about feedback and is the game good, is the game bad, and do that dismissive shutdown thing of it's fine or this is the way that it is. That's not conducive to conversation.
Okay,
Like, it
guys,
just-
those people, it's Lino and Mike speaking of the games. I always have critics, and so people's crying for the pay-to-win content, and it's look like it. Diablo 4, they are speaking because the title is the Diablo 4 is boring debate, but Lino is coming up with the Star Wars shirt. It's okay, not problem, but listen, guys. The lot of games is have to pay to way and payment things. So you don't you are not forced to pay. You are not forced to pay. If look, we, for example, in Genshin Impact, that's an RPG game, and the resin is 160, and you need to pay to recharge them, these resins. So, or you wait tomorrow to recharge is automatically. So guys, you are not forced to buy anything to, otherwise you buy the game, but you're not forced to buy the packs, the pay to win, these things. You're not forced. So it's your choice. It's your choice. Your choice, your game style, your play style. It's personal. It's everything is personal. Critics, the critics is always coming up. Whatever the game is, 100%, always critics coming up, guys. This word, the critics always coming up. It's this word don't have perfect in this word. So critics always up. So yeah, that's it. Maybe they are talking so much hours to this problem. So yeah, this was my option. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching and see you.